What's going on, everybody? Howdy. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. I already have the topic thing messed up, so the production team is already screwing up the show. We are here for episode 43. I am joined by BuffNerd Gaming. What's up, man? Wait.
Monday. Oh,
I
whoa,
didn't,
whoa.
I didn't
Oh.
unmute you. Try again. BuffNerd Gaming,
Oh.
how are you doing, man?
Check 1 2. Yeah, I'm great, man. It's good to be here on a Monday, and for all you fellow new viewers in here from Don't Be a Menace and South Central while drinking your juice video, welcome. I'm happy to have you.
Yeah. Welcome in from all those random corners of YouTube that we're just now finding about. Love Buff's content. So that's the
Great.
YouTube algorithm absolutely knocking it out of the park. Almost like the production team with 2 strikes already. Okay. 2 strikes already on the production team. 3 strikes, and I'm gonna have to hire somebody, find somebody else, because this is just ridiculous. For a large
Unacceptable.
for a large budget program like this, I mean, get it together, guys. Come on. You get paid the big bucks to do this. So yeah, tell the audience before we get into it. Tell the audience about your whole YouTube algorithm situation there. I think it's pretty comical.
Yeah, so first off, I'll preface this with saying I never started YouTube looking to make money or caring about views. And so ultimately that's still kind of where I stand. I do, especially the weapon conversion videos. I do it because I honestly love making those videos no matter what. But I did notice, like, hey, the views are a little bit down compared to what, things were prior to like 2 weeks ago before the game even came out. And now, the views look a little low from what I was expecting based on the trend. So I was curious, and I looked at what videos are recommending BuffNerd Gaming's weapon content. And the videos that are recommending my content compared to 2 weeks ago, we have things like how our pets are handling the home renovation. If I laugh, I eat Ohio. So people out there eating states, that's good. Good people watching those videos definitely love Call of Duty guns. All Black Adam references in the multiverse. And my favorite one is funny German Shepherd reacts to cuddles and kisses. Like, fuck. Just
That's
send them right over to
perfect.
my channel. Yeah, you're right, dude. That's a whole demographic that I didn't even know needed this content. And
I think
I'm
that's
just
an
happy. I'm
untapped.
happy YouTube knew that they wanted to watch my content. YouTube's like, you know what, Will, you don't need Call of Duty viewers anymore. You need German Shepherd kisses and cuddles viewers. That's who we'll recommend it to. And I was just like, man, that's awesome, dude. You guys
It's
are just the
perfect.
best.
Yeah.
It's perfect. So
Yeah.
good.
Just trust the process, all right? Trust the algorithm. YouTube knows that people who love German Shepherd cuddles and kisses also wanna convert their AK-104s. Everybody knows. I mean,
Duh.
now
I'm embarrassed I didn't know it. You know what I mean? Like, Jesus.
yeah.
What I go to school for, Crash? What am I doing?
I'm pretty excited for your big time stream in February when you're co-streaming the American Kennel Club dog show championships, maybe
Yeah.
alongside some weapon conversion videos with dogs in the background. It's gonna be great.
It's gonna be big, dude. Those dogs going around the obstacle course. Like, I'm gonna play by play that stuff, and you guys just gonna be blown away. It's gonna be crazy.
Maybe convert a gun like during the commercial breaks. It's gonna be content for
Maybe.
everybody.
There's so much there. It's just the potential is limitless. So it's gonna
I'm
be good.
excited. I'm excited for you. And
Me
then
too.
anything exciting this weekend? Did you play some video games, or were you just working on videos most of the time, or you've been cranking
Well,
out?
when I wasn't watching cuddles and kisses videos of dogs, I was I was doing videos and playing some Modern Warfare 2, and yeah, I actually had a great time. I was going through trying to level up all my stuff for next week when we get into Warzone 2 and DMZ, and I found, like, for whatever reason, the combo of weapons that was working best for me was the Rallant machine gun paired with the Lynx, and I was just, if Justin pops in chat at some point, he'll everyone, he'll confirm it was chopper gunner after chopper gunner every game. It was absurd. It was wild. So I was kind of going pretty ham over the weekend.
Oh, what modes were you playing with that?
We were doing ground war and invasion.
Nice.
So
yeah, with
it was
LMGs, that'd be sweet. I haven't got into the LMGs really yet. Yeah, StarCap says you're gonna have to start naming your guns like the Labradoodle and stuff. Like
Yeah, that's a good idea,
naming
man.
your gun builds. Yeah, I mean we're playing the
Yeah.
game at YouTube. That's just how it works.
It's
I had some family and friends come in for a baby shower, because Mini Crash is on the way. So we had a bunch of family stuff this weekend, and I got back into some S&D last night. Had some pretty funny clips, and let's just say, I guess I should be correct here. We should do good journalism, and I'll call it the engagement-based matchmaking. Remember the win streak that I was on the last time I played S&D? Because we were playing some pros for a while, but then got settled in and all right. But the first couple matches of S&D were a little wild. I'm gonna have to start warming up for that, man. That the matchmaking is so sweaty. I don't feel like it's as bad as in Invasion and Ground War, maybe because there's so many people that it has to matchmake. It doesn't seem as strict to me as it does in like the 6v6 stuff. Some of those games are just playing against people who are nuts.
True. Yeah, it can definitely be competitive. I was in a couple lobbies over the weekend here and there that were, when they get really crazy, I just have to back out. And especially like sometimes you'll jump in like a ground war or invasion map, and you're just specifically invasion, I think some tweaks down the road, because like you're always spawning kind of back in your spawn. So there's like, I mean, it happens in 6v6 too. You just spawn and get hit with like kill streak, spawn again, hit with kill streak. So you just like trying to run into where the action is and keep dying. So I think we talked about it last time. That might be something where invasion and ground war, they tone down the kill streaks just a tad would be nice.
Yeah, that would be sweet. And the engagement based matchmaking while you're at it. But they're always after the almighty dollar. Keep people playing, keep people buying. Microtransactions, everybody loves those. Yeah, and I think upcoming, I think we still should have a show next week if you're down at the same time. I am going to kind of be out of the loop, so we're going to talk about here in a little bit. Wednesday is going to be a really big day for Warzone 2 and DMZ. We're going to find out how those are going to play again. We've already seen some gameplay from the COD Next event on Warzone 2, but we should hear more about DMZ and see some unedited gameplay, as some streamers and content creators were invited. Again, hashtag invite buff. Get it together, Activision. Come on. And but we can tell by some of the creators that were invited, there's some Tarkov names in there. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, with a lot more information that's been coming out about DMZ and kind of what we hope to see Wednesday. And also, you guys at home, please chime in the comments, in the chat, and it will be on the screen for others to see and be part of the show. Mixed chat from all the different channels is on the screen, so keep an eye on it. Chime in. We'd love to have you, and we'll do a chat Q&A at the end of the program if everyone's down for that. Should we do it? And then I guess, wait, I'm all over the place again. This is a real problem. What?
Who?
What? Where? An owl? Then I'm gonna be like, so after Wednesday we find all this stuff out. I'm going back out into the wilderness, away from telephones and stuff. Gonna go bow hunting again over the weekend, so I'll be back that Sunday. I won't know what happened. You're gonna have to fill me in and carry the show on Monday, Buff. But I know you're up to it. No problem.
Well, I mean, that depends, Crash, because you and I were talking off screen. I might come and film my Animal Wilderness podcast while you're out there, so I might be there with you doing, cuddling with some bears or something.
That would be great. I got plenty of bears that you could cuddle with. I will probably need you to sign a waiver. We gotta sign some paperwork before that goes down.
That's
okay.
Fine.
All right. Shall we get into this? This is a great show. Breaking news. This is a real news program. Okay, you guys are tuning into the real deal. You ready for some breaking news?
Let's do it. I'm ready, man.
I didn't want to
as I drink my protein shake. Yeah,
I was ready. I was ready for you to get so excited you spewed protein all over your camera, because that's how excited you are for breaking news today.
You know it.
So yeah, just before we went live, some stuff went down on Twitter. Some potentially misinterpretation of some statements that were made during Activision's earnings call. Basically what was said, I'll just go what Charlie Intel tweeted. This is from the financial release that they do. Activision did one. By the way, EA did one on November 1st, and there was zero mention of anything Battlefield that was important. They threw Battlefield in when they were talking about some of their major IPs, but there was really zero information from EA regarding upcoming Battlefield releases and upcoming seasons of Battlefield 3, which is potentially going to be called Escalation, but I don't know what's escalating other than everyone's disappointment. Anyway.
That's crazy, Crash. That is, wow. You caught me off guard with that one, dude, because I heard everyone talking about how, after 3 or 4 years, Battlefield always comes back around and just crushes it. So I thought we were in the midst of the Battlefield comeback. Everyone loves 2042. I thought it was the time, but
it could be the time.
Man.
It could be the time. Battlefield 2042 is making a massive comeback. You guys will see. Yeah.
Season 3 is right around the corner. We have no idea what's in store.
Season 3 is going to be amazing. Even though there's been like 30 to 50,000 people playing Battlefield 1 daily on Steam, and like 3,000 people playing 2042, it's gonna probably switch potentially.
It's almost like what you're saying is like older Battlefields are better than new ones. What?
I don't know.
Worse games. EA CEOs are like, we should make worse games next year. That'll pull them in. That's what they want.
Yeah. Hey, you got to be careful. I mean, more people listen to the show, and you come out with $1 million ideas like that, they're gonna try to hire you over there.
Man,
you got professional ideas like that.
I hope no one from like Shark Tank is watching. Mark Cuban or something like that. Steal all my thunder here.
I know. I mean, jeez, they're gonna have to start paying the program for ideas like that. I mean, basically, if you want to make a good Battlefield, you just take all the things that made Battlefield good out. Very similar to how the YouTube algorithm is currently working on Buff's channel. Basically, do the opposite of what everyone thinks you're going to do, and then it'll fail, and we'll move on. So anyway.
Write it down and frame it, Crash. Love it.
Do it. Clip it. Ship it. Breaking news. I need to get a breaking news soundbite thing. I don't think the quick shot thing fits here.
Bum, bum. How's that? Does that work?
Yeah. I think that's it.
Cool. Perfect.
I'll just record that.
Yeah.
So Activision in their earnings call, we're terrible at this. Activision, what they said is, with plans next year, including the most robust Call of Duty live operations to date, the next full premium release in the blockbuster annual series, and even more engaging free-to-play experiences across platforms. So why this raised a few eyebrows was because several other insiders, Chef Grubb, Tom Henderson, Ghost of Hope, are all reporting from their sources that there is no new premium title next year. We all expect it kind of maybe potentially a continuation of the campaign, some of the original Modern Warfare 2 remastered maps to come back, and other things like that we're going to be paying. But with this verbiage, it kind of sounds like the next full premium release. So Charlie Intel says we were wrong. It's going to be a new title. And then Jason Schreier rolls up, the big dog with all the info, and just like, nah, dude. You keep falling for the same PR language, he says. It's a continuation of Modern Warfare 2, as originally reported. It's called a full premium release because they're probably going to market and sell it at $70 game with new single and multiplayer content, but it's more Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2. And then he goes on to quote tweet what Charlie Intel said, and said, let me make this super clear. Again, coming from Jason Schreier, notorious insider from CNBC, right? Whatever. I'll find it in a minute. He says, let me make this super clear. The next game by Treyarch is coming out in 2024. So the next new title. Next year, there will be a Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2 premium paid expansion by Sledgehammer. It's supposed to have lots of content. Maybe that's why they call it a full release, but it's more Modern Warfare 2. They did leave the campaign open, and it sounds like another rumor is that, like I said, he's Bloomberg. It says it right there on the screen. Holy shit, I'm old. He's a reporter at Bloomberg. I knew it was one of those businessy places, but he's the video game insider for there. And they left the campaign open for more stuff, so it should follow along with that. Some of the Russian stuff that got introduced towards the end of the campaign in Modern Warfare 2, as well as original Modern Warfare 2 multiplayer maps being remastered coming back, and I would expect more, and new Warzone content and things like that. So, what are your thoughts? not necessarily on the Twitter drama, but about paying for basically Modern Warfare Roman numeral 2.0 next year. How do you feel about that?
Fine with me. More Modern Warfare content is what I wanted the past 3 years. So if I need to pay an easy flat fee of $70 to get it, I'm all for it. Continue that campaign where they left off was a great spot, which kind of leads you to think it would be Modern Warfare 3, but I think they've already said this is the last game in the Modern Warfare series. So 2 years of support, you can continue that story. Obviously, they set it up to continue. So I think that's what they're going to be doing there, and then bringing in probably a small new portion of the campaign and a bunch of new other stuff there too. So I think a lot of it will probably be single player, spec ops raids, things like that, maybe, and a lot of store items. Just because from the multiplayer side, they've kind of gone away from splitting the player base the past 3+ years now since Modern Warfare 2019 launch. They don't split the player base anymore with like DLC map packs or anything. So if they were to release like a multiplayer remastered pack, I don't think that's something you would pay for. I think they would look to have you pay for content elsewhere, and the maps themselves would be free. The weapons would be free, but then obviously you see the same model for like blueprints, operators, all of that, and obviously the single player raids, spec ops, that type of experience should be paid for sure.
Okay, I agree. I'm gonna kind of reserve a lot of judgment. I mean, to see what all content is gonna be there. I just really hope, because Activision and Call of Duty really don't have much competition. We know, I saw an article today, Jacob posted in my Discord, that they've made $1 billion in revenue on this game in the first 10 days already. So smashing all kinds of Call of Duty records. They don't have a lot of competition as far as player base size in the space. You could say there's a lot of competition, games that you personally like better, franchises you'd rather play with. But at the same time, that makes me worry a little bit, because they're not beholden to anyone. They don't have to come, that free market competition doesn't really take over. They don't have to come out with a lot of content for a little bit of money to try to compete with any other IP. So I just hope that there is more content to it. I'm assuming it should be comparable to a release. I think this is a good move overall. I think a lot of people generally in the past have wanted to see what it's like if they continue to support a Call of Duty, because especially with the way they've put an emphasis on cosmetics and how much cosmetics cost, it's always been really silly for me to buy them, and then the next year they're not going to be worth anything, you're not going to be using them. That was mitigated a little bit with Warzone kind of being persistent and continuing on to the next year. You could still use them there, but a lot of the cosmetics and stuff you earn, you get to keep. So all that work you put into getting gold and Orion camos and all that stuff will be there. That's really cool that cosmetics continue on. Yeah, I just hope there's enough content to justify the price tag, is essentially the wordy thing I'm trying to say with too many words. But that's what I'm trying to get. Trying to thought out my mouth and say that I hope the content is there to justify the $70 price tag. But it sounds interesting to me. I like it. I'm not going to be one of the schmucks that I've seen on Twitter. I've seen a couple of people that take leaks and rumors for gospel. And I've seen some people commenting on there like, they've said they're only going to bring back Modern Warfare 2 remastered map, and that's it for $70. This is bad. This is evil Activision. It's like, you don't know that yet. So we're not going to make any precise opinions like that about the amount of content, but it's something to keep an eye on to make sure it justifies that price tag, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's way too early. You said it. I mean, there's no confirmation of anything yet, and it's way too soon to be jumping to conclusions like that. So yeah, this people need to probably calm down a little bit and wait till we hear something official. And I think we've learned that, the past year or so, probably with the Modern Warfare 2 leaks, a lot of it was exciting, a lot of it was accurate, but then there was some of it that wasn't accurate, and that's not to to say the leaks were bad or the information was bad. It's just, during development cycles, things change. So what may be planned now could be a complete 180 a year from now. So we don't know. So we'll have to wait and see from the horse's mouth, that being Call of Duty Activision.
Yep, and then we can lock in our final opinions and get our pitchforks out if we need to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm excited to see what that looks like. This is kind of a new era for Call of Duty. We're gonna get to see the benefits or the downsides of having a unified Call of Duty engine. We know this year was a new engine, and all of the studios were meant to adopt it. In the past, you guys know the different studios, their games kind of had a different look and feel to them, especially Treyarch kind of has its own vibe to it and color scheme and stuff like that. So we are seeing a unified engine that's going to be working in Warzone and the next several Call of Duties. So this is where we'll kind of see that potentially Sledgehammer could make the game, but it might be indiscernible from the original Modern Warfare 2 to kind of fit in with that, with the same engine and everything like that. They should be kind of working with the same assets and same engine versions and stuff like that.
Yeah, I also think, I'm curious. I mean, I think we can go out on a limb and say with some degree of, I guess, a very educated guess, right? We're going to get some campaign continuation in some form. So if it were let's say they add an extra 8 campaign levels, right? Let's just say that's what's happening. If that were the case, it may be being developed by Sledgehammer, but I think it would make sense. A lot of the studio work behind the scenes was done for, the mocap and everything like that by Infinity Ward directors and everything. So I think there would be, it's not like they're just going to throw this over to another studio. Fully, I think if there is campaign continuation, you would have a lot of the same people working together, and then Sledgehammer would be doing the actual development portion, because that's a separate part of, that's the game development. And I think the parts of the studios that work on the mocap, the stories and all of that are typically would probably stay on, is what I would assume, because you don't want to have a shift in the way the campaign feels coming into next year. So we'll have to see, but I am excited. I think they left that campaign off in a really good spot that I wanted to keep going. So I think that's what they're going to give us.
Yeah, they definitely left it open for season 2 of that campaign. It was set up. So definitely. Yep, we can expect that for next year. But yeah, that's just kind of the breaking news. There was some news stories and initial headlines that kind of didn't make sense, and Jason Schreier kind of made it fit the narrative that was before, and I think the confusion has been lined out, and we will be having a premium expansion for Modern Warfare 2 in 2023. So that's where we're at still, with clarification. So
yeah.
All right, you want to talk about the big news story of the week, which will be DMZ and Warzone 2.0 reveal gameplay stream is going to be on Wednesday. So what are you looking forward? What are you hoping to see with this?
I think if we start with Warzone 2, I think with Warzone 2, there's been a lot of I've seen photos. So Warzone 2 loadout drops are back. I've seen the photos. I think a lot of us, if you've been following some of those channels, you've seen them. So loadouts are back in some capacity. We'll have to wait and see. I mean, really, I'm hoping they didn't change too much from what we saw at COD Next. I really like the concept of, I need meds, I need to go and loot meds. I liked the looting aspect of it. However, I do think loadout drops, I could go either way with that, but I do think loadout drops are needed with this for Warzone 2. I think to stay with the excitement from Warzone 1, it's a good idea. However, I think the way they're implemented need to be done differently. And I think Infinity Ward typically does a good job of finding a common middle ground between what their idea was and what the community wants. So I think we're going to see loadouts just done differently, right? Hopefully it's not going to be that everyone land, let's do a scav and we have a loadout within 40 seconds and then we're going kill racing, because I like Warzone when it's slower pace and it's more methodical. So I mean, that's what I got from the COD Next event, is it felt like that. So I hope it doesn't change too much. I'm really looking forward to it. I mean, I'm pumped to see the map, and especially, I mean, the one thing here at COD Next, we didn't see, there was no loadouts, obviously, even though they did say, everyone was going crazy about it. But Infinity Ward said there are loadouts, they're just not in this build. So to say like, oh, Infinity Ward, really, like, I mean, they kind of said that it was always there. They just didn't have it in the build at COD Next, which we discussed it here on stream before. Is why would they? Because there was only limited weapons and no attachments, so it wouldn't make sense to allow you to go in and kind of build your own classes at that point with what they had. But now I think we're going to see something different. So I think we're going to see a lot of custom classes. The streamers will probably have a lot of stuff unlocked for Warzone, and can build their own kits and all that stuff. And I'm excited to see what weapons, like, I mean, we know Swag is going to be there. Swag is a beast at Warzone. I'm curious what kind of weapons him and some of the other guys who are primarily play Warzone will be running. And I think, especially with the Gunsmith and Modern Warfare 2, there's so many options. I mean, I have a good idea of some just fun, crazy builds that I think are going to be very viable that I want to run. So I'm curious to see kind of what they run, and how it works in this. And then, I mean, that's Warzone 2. I mean, really, I'm just hoping for a lot of the same with, the loadouts, and hope it stays the same pace and tempo. So how are you feeling about Warzone 2?
I did see that stuff, and then as they reminded me in chat, I did see Ghost of Hope said that there is potentially going to be just one loadout for everybody, like that, or like a random one for free, and you can't buy one. So
Yeah.
I think that'll be really cool. I just hope I I'm like you. The pace how it was, where everyone was just in a race to get a loadout, and then it kind of turned into TDM, was not great in my opinion. Everybody using the
It's not a
same
battle
weapons.
royale, right?
I
I don't
hope,
think that's I
yeah.
don't think it's a battle royale.
I want there to be a decision there. I want a viable tactic to be to play and win with ground guns. I want that to be
Right.
a viable tactic, and you have to decide, do I want to take the risk and try to obtain the free loadout that's going to probably be where a lot of other people's loadouts are or something like that? Or do I just want to try to pick up some ground guns which are viable and make that work? That's what I'm hoping for. Just that decision, so every game's not played out kind of the same. I know battle royales with the circle, and depending on your lobbies, they all play out differently, but it did get kind of monotonous. You do the same thing. You would drop at a place where you could get money, maybe get a couple kills, get their money, buy a loadout, then play the game. Hopefully that decision comes a little bit later in the game, and it plays a little bit more like a traditional BR, and ground loot is viable, and you can win matches with ground loot. That's what I hope.
Yeah, I
With the
think, I mean,
loadouts.
definitely, I agree. And if it is just one loadout, that's more like a typical BR where you get like that care package, right? I mean, I remember my first battle royale was Blackout, and you'd get a couple airdrops. I mean, same with PUBG, you get a couple airdrops, and in those airdrops were like the high tier weapons, and it was still random. You know what you're gonna get, but that's where you could go. And I think it sounds like they're still going to have it so you can buy a weapon and buy attachments for it, though. And I think we've seen some things kind of leaked to show that as well, especially if you're on Xbox, with some prices showing up next to attachments. So as long as there's a way to still play the way you want to play, you're not being forced into a situation where all the ground loot is World War II weapons like we were the past year. I think it'll play good. I want to be able to also, one of my favorite things about original Warzone back in OG Verdansk, the first couple months, was just trying these crazy builds that like no one would think of using, and finding out like, wow, this is extremely viable. And just when you're killing people that are running quote unquote meta, and you're using like an M4 SOCOM rounds at 500 meters, there's something special about that. And having an actual battle royale experience where you need to play for your life. It's not just a kill race. And I think that's, we witnessed the decline of Warzone almost firsthand, I think, over the last couple of years with kind of the changes that were implemented. So I hope they kind of, like you said, make up their mind as to what they want to be really this time around.
Yep. It's also going to be interesting to see everyone's reaction too. who have got so sunk into that meta of like just trying to get a loadout, and to see all those professional players have to change it up and adapt is going to be really cool to watch on Wednesday. I'm really looking forward to that with Warzone.
It's kind of funny because I mean, at COD Next, some of the streamers I was watching were getting like really, they were getting a little, you could tell they were just like annoyed they couldn't get loadouts and stuff like that. And they're like, this gun's dog crap, blah, blah. And like they had a gun that was, we know now was very, very good. So it's just like, it's again, Warzone, I think, created a lot of mindset issues with how people approach the game in some areas. That being, I need the very best weapon that so and so is telling me to use every game, no exceptions, never going to use anything differently. So I think so far what they've been trying to do is to force variety, which I'm all for. Hey, it'll create a better experience for everybody, where you don't have everybody on the lobby running the exact same weapons with the exact same attachments minus 2 or 3 people. That's a good thing.
Yep. And then I guess on the flip side, there's also been a little bit more mystery around DMZ, because I'm playing the Warzone 2 match from COD Next on the screen, but we haven't seen how DMZ is going to play. And I know I get a lot of that in the comments in our chat. Everyone is really excited to see DMZ, and some of the stuff that like I made my video about today has me intrigued. But the overall question I have for you, I think I know what you'll say. But the question that I have for you and also everyone in chat is, are you worried? Because I have PTSD from Hazard Zone. Are you worried that we're getting DMZ gameplay just a few days before it actually launches? Do you think that's a problem because they're just finishing it up, kind of like Hazard Zone? Or do you think it's kind of to add excitement, just part of the marketing?
I'll be honest, I actually am very concerned, but there's a saving grace there, I guess, like a caveat, right? I'm definitely worried. Sure. I'm not gonna pretend I'm not. We haven't seen or heard really anything about this besides leaks. I think officially we don't really know anything about this mode. Everything I think we know about this is through leaked information and leakers. So we know nothing official about this. However, the caveat to all that is that based on some of the people that were invited to this event, you don't invite those people unless you have a specific game for them to play, and you've probably been working with them for a while behind the scenes to get the feedback that you're looking for to create the game, the vision of the game you want. So those people being probably the greatest Tarkov player alive, Landmark, and Dr. Lupo, also very, very disgustingly good. And Landmark's just a beast. And Landmark's not really a COD guy at all. So he's a Tarkov guy, and he's a disgustingly good Tarkov guy. So you don't invite him to this event unless I feel you've been working with him behind the scenes and you're confident in what this game is and where it's going. So that's kind of, I guess that's what I'm trying to look at it glass half full perspective there. So yes, I'm worried, but that's the but there. I think that's a good kind of a good but though.
Yep. I'm in the same boat. I'm a little bit concerned, but it could be like from what happened with 2042. And then at the same time, I'm with you. Those are the guys that I'm going to be watching. I'm going to be watching Dr. Lupo, and I'm going to be watching Landmark stream, because I'm most interested in DMZ and want to see how it goes for them, because they'll have the opinions that I care about, because they've played quite a bit of Tarkov. And then basically what we've seen over the last few days, sorry for the dogs. What we've seen over the last few days on Twitter and stuff is a lot of like one-liners, like the audio is leaked for what the narrator says, and it kind of sounds like there's a couple new mechanics. There's something like the dark zone from the Division, where if you attack the wrong team or the wrong non-combatants, you'll get a target on you, and there's a voice line that says, expect contact, expect incoming fire. You're marked on the map, so that's pretty cool. The one thing I didn't think of that I think it sounds like could potentially be there based on these audio files is your missions and reasons that you're in there, you might not find out until you get in the game. And I think that could add a lot of dynamicness to how a raid goes, and also how and also adding to the replayability, because it sounds like certain events are going to happen on the map, like helicopters crashing, and then the announcer says, there's a case of info on that helicopter. You have to go get it and get it to the extract zone. Well, other players are going to see that. Other people are going to be going after it. So you and your squad have to decide: are we going to go risk it for that extra XP and extra money and go get that, or are we going to continue doing what we were doing? You know, whether we were trying to level up a gun or whether we were trying to complete a quest in the pre-lobby. I think having things happen during the match and people changing their objectives and having to be flexible, it's going to really make it a high replayability, and that's what an extraction mode generally suffers from a lack of. So I was excited to hear some of those voice lines.
Yeah, it needs to be sandbox like, and I think that's really, really good. There always needs to be something new to do, and if you have new things to do on the fly like that, it creates replayability, which, like you said, that's something like Tarkov suffers from, because it's the same. The wipe is the best time because it's the same thing over and over again, but the wipe, you start over and you can achieve something. So, I mean, we'll see. I think I'm definitely gonna be watching those guys too, just because I like, they're primarily Tarkov players, so I think I'm curious. They're gonna be playing DMZ and Warzone kind of how I like to play it. So I want to see what they run compared to some of the other more seasoned Warzone guys, and how they do. Because I think you can't underestimate the IQ of a Tarkov player. The way somebody like Landmark, I'm curious how Landmark's gonna perform against some of these guys, because Landmark is a very smart player, and there's two very different mentalities there. One is kill, 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 kill. The other is like, I'm going to outsmart the hell out of you in this engagement and just blow your mind and kill you. So
I love
it should
watching
be
players
interesting.
like that. I love watching
Yeah.
players like Landmark, and I love watching players like Iron, one of the top Warzone guys. Just how they play. They play smart, but they also have incredible mechanical skill and use it when they need to. Like, they have
Yep.
both, which is so cool. Because a lot of really good players, and like, taking nothing away from them, becoming skilled and taking time to get mechanically gifted at a game is nothing to sneeze at. But a lot of people can rely on that and just run around the map and rely on their skill to win fights. But when you have players that use both, like Landmark and Iron, I respect that a lot. It's really cool to watch, because they like are like tactics and positioning first, but if we need to get crazy, we can hit some shots too. And I think that's really cool. I like watching those guys a lot. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they stack up against all the other Warzone pros and stuff. So I'm definitely looking forward to Wednesday. It should be really cool. And yeah, just having that opportunity to have your objectives and missions change in game, in raid. I think that's huge. I know I talked about it a little bit already, but I think that's huge, to be able to have the opportunity to kind of change your plan while you're in a match.
That's going to be fun, especially I think in like a squad up like type where, where you're running with a squad and you go in and you have an objective, and then it's like, holy crap, we can go do so and so over there, and there's a big reward if we can do it and pull it off and extract. So that's, again, it creates that risk reward type gameplay, which I think is very important in game modes like these. So yeah, it's I'm excited, man. And I am excited to use some of these weapons in Warzone. I'm excited to see if what the battle pass looks like for season 1. I'm thinking Wednesday, if not Wednesday, Thursday or Friday, we're gonna get at least like a what's coming in season 1 roadmap, because it's going to be a week away from Wednesday, right? It's the 16th, which is so next Wednesday. So it's going to be a week away from this event. So I think we're going to get some stuff regarding that at least this Wednesday or by the end of the week. And if I'm kind of excited to see what weapons we get, because we know some of the weapons that are there that are cut from the release of the game, like the M13, the Honey Badger, the AW50. So I think I know the conversion. I think a lot of people that have been following my channel for a while know the conversion I want to make out of one of those weapons that I've run for a long time, and that's that's like return to form, just like fun stuff like that. I'm really excited to just go into a new map that's modern for DMZ and Warzone and play with modern weapons. And I don't know about you, but I haven't touched Warzone in about 2 months at this point. So I got to the point finally where I had just had enough of it, and to be able to, the anticipation of jumping into a new modern setting and everything is exciting. So kind of like a kid on Christmas morning, I guess.
Yep. No, I haven't played it since MW2 came out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just wanted to go over these super quick. I talked about a lot more of these in my video if you're interested in it.
Yeah, let's do it.
Some of these voice lines from Ghost of Saba over on Twitter. He said we have got a hit on an HVT, which is a high value target known as Chemist. Intel tracked him inside the radiation field location is on your TAC map, so that's something that can come up during the game. There's several different bosses, which could potentially be part of the raid mode. We don't know. Chemist, Pyro, Bashara, Armored Commander, Warlord, and Trapper. There's quite a few voice lines talking about high value targets, uploading data, securing hostages, locating cash, armored boat drop, secure vehicle, and deliver it to the HLZ. So sometimes armored vehicles will drop in and you have to basically hijack them and take out the AI on those vehicles and then take the vehicle to the extraction. So those are pretty cool. It's just a lot of dynamic stuff that I was worried about there not being, it seems like, is in the game. Some events ask you to blow up stuff like supply depots or SAM sites. Rewards are safe locations. There's also voice lines about opportunity to re-secure SAM sites that are under attack. Talks about crash sites. The other thing I wanted to that kind of sums up a lot of stuff, things that were located in the voice lines about Escape from Tarkov is some of the voice lines not only hint to keys, but also key cards for a lab. You can grab dog tags off dead PMCs. You seem to spawn in with basically nothing and unlock missions by looting and exploring. So you can find missions within the map and within these raids. So that kind of, I wanted to kind of sum it up and give you some specifics of what we are talking about, because I think it's going to be pretty cool. I'm feeling better about it now.
Yeah, it sounds awesome, especially the keys. Like there's a bunch of keys. I saw some of those also. The armored car thing sounds awesome. I just made a post in the chat on the comments there. I said Rofus rounds, here I come. So Rofus rounds are like the 50 BMG rounds with explosive tips. Used on like the M82s and stuff like that. They are available on the links. So I'm going to be taking out some vehicles. It's going to be fun.
Just send
those
it.
AI don't know. They're not going to even know what's coming.
They have no idea.
No clue.
So yeah, I think that sums it up pretty well. What we're expected to see on Wednesday. We'll probably react to it on Monday if you guys want to come back by. Probably, I would assume on Monday, like Buff said, we'll probably get some more information. I will be thoroughly impressed if it's like a full-fledged season 1. If it's like new multiplayer maps that I can play S&D on, a battle pass with stuff that doesn't suck, and like Warzone 2 and DMZ is fully fleshed out and fairly polished. Like that's a pretty big season 1 for this soon after launch, and I'll be pretty impressed with that amount of content, to be honest. I'll have to give credit where credit's due.
Yeah, that'd be huge for sure.
So we'll see it. We'll see it. What happens? We'll be watching Wednesday with you guys, and any information we get the rest of the week, and we'll meet back here next Monday and kind of react to it and see what we all think of that stuff. So, are you ready to move on to a couple other smaller news stories before chat Q&A?
Let's do it.
All right. So we got some new information. Guys, I know most everyone's excited about Modern Warfare 2, but we are an FPS news podcast. You'll thank us later when Modern Warfare 2 gets old and we have other cool stuff to talk about. Trust me. Yeah, let's talk about a little bit about Halo, which has been pretty rough lately. But there have been hints of life occasionally, excuse me. Two big things upcoming for Halo. One of them is Forge, which if you've been following this show, we've often talked about the future of FPS gaming being user-generated content. Let the fans make content and share it with other fans. We've talked about that so long. So Halo Forge is supposed to be massive. It's coming soon. We'll talk about that in a second. But there have been some new Halo Battle Royale details leaked. This is a Twisted Voxel article. It's over on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors Reddit. However, this comes from, we're hitting all the sources here. The Twitter user Bathroom Spartan shared a bunch of screenshots from what appear to be Halo's game files, revealing new information regarding the game's Battle Royale mode. According to leak details, Halo's Battle Royale mode will have an initial intro phase along with deployment and release phase. Much like in other BR games, similarly, players can continue to join an in-game session until the drop phase is complete, where things start to differ with regards to initial loadout. In other BR games, players are dropped to the map with no weapons. However, based on leaked information, Halo will have players drop on the map with an initial weapon loadout. Players will also be able to control their drop pod. They'll be aligned as a team, much like the squad seen in other BR games. Twitter user Ains has heard that the Battle Royale mode codenamed Tatanka may arrive alongside Season 4, which is tentatively scheduled for sometime mid-2023. So it's a ways out, but we still keep hearing about the Halo BR. Are you excited for it at all? I have like nostalgia feelings when I think about Halo, but Halo Infinite was polished for me, but like just not enough content. I don't know where you are on Halo.
Never been a Halo guy, to be honest, just because I've always been a PlayStation guy. Played a little bit in the dorms in college back in the day. Just never was my cup of tea. It can be fun for sure, but it's never a game I wanted to play. But that being said, I mean, I'll definitely watch the gameplay for sure. Like I do enjoy watching Halo. Not really playing it as much, but I think watching it would be good.
Did my internet just absolutely die?
Uh-oh, technical difficulties. I think cool. the where'd I go? Oh god. There I am. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, the commercials for Halo have always just been the most exciting thing I've ever seen. Like their Halo 3 back in the day, the live action commercials that they would have, just like historical, like as if it were real and you're watching like a historical documentary. It was amazing. The chills I got from those, if they can come out with some out of the gate with some marketing like that and just crush it, I would love it. Because it's so I want to just reiterate, I don't dislike Halo. I've just never been a fan of playing it because I don't have an Xbox. So if I had access to an Xbox and played it more regularly, I'd probably enjoy playing it. But I do enjoy watching it and keeping up with it, especially those amazing commercials.
Agreed. And then, yeah, here's the other thing. This is from HaloWaypoint.com. It just released 4 hours ago, so a little bit before we get live. More breaking news on this program. We're killing it today. Talking about the content browser that's coming along with the Halo Forge. And we've seen some amazing. A few weeks ago, we were talking about some of the insane Halo Forge maps that we were seeing people make on Twitter. Some old Battlefield maps, all kinds of different stuff from different games. But you can see a content browser where people can upload their maps, people can find them and use them in custom modes, and it looks really robust. You guys can see on the screen, sorry podcast listener, but yeah, it shows the published date. There's all kinds of searches you can go and look for content that you want to play on, and there it is. It looks really cool. Something that Battlefield 2042 really needed, a server browser. But yeah, I'm excited to see what comes out of Halo Forge. Even if I don't play it, I'm excited to see what that community does with those tools, because from what we've seen already, it looks pretty impressive what people are able to do with it. There's a lot of stuff you can change.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about it too. Maybe that's the future of gaming at some point. And I think maybe depending on how good it does, maybe that's something, it sounds kind of like we wanted in the Battlefield portal. So we'll have to see how this does and what that does for the future of gaming. This could potentially be one of those groundbreaking, revolutionary implementations that becomes an industry standard down the road. So it could be a big deal. And I think regardless, it's a big deal for Halo fans. So I'm excited for them.
Yeah, that's what we thought Portal was going to be. So it didn't take off like we thought. So let's see how this does, because a lot of even developers, when we talked to Jim Heil of EA, he said that user generated content could be the future. So we'll definitely keep an eye on it. One of the last things we wanted to talk about is World War 3 has been sending out a few teasers, and we will take a look at those as soon as the production team can get on it. World War 3 has been a game, ups and downs, roller coasters. They have it now where it's actually playing pretty well. So that's good. It's playing well, and it really needs content. We could potentially be seeing that. They're starting to tease a few things. I guess I could leave it up to the weapon expert to see if he sees anything from this clip, but they posted some reload animations of some different guns and some different conversions. It looks like the full length G36 potentially platform and some other things. And another teaser where they talked about, they had a video where they talked about traversal and the movement in the map. There was an image of a deagle. So a desert eagle was in there, sidearm. So that's coming to the game. So new weapons are coming. Hopefully, this is season 1. Blue the Robot, friend of the channel, World War III content creator, tweeted that something was going to happen, and then Farm 51 tweeted him back a winky face. So hopefully we're starting to see World War III pick up the content.
Yeah, and I just saw this before we went live, and I agree. There's some LMG there because he's opening up the feed tray at the very beginning. Then you see loading a shotgun. You do see a G36, and it's weird because there's a G36 in game, so I don't know if this is supposed to just be a showcase or they're showing new weapons. But I think the G36 in the game is either the C or the K version, so maybe this is a full length. I'm not really sure. The Germans typically only use the K versions at this point in time. The full length is mainly just for export these days. But yeah, and then the Deagle. So I'm curious. I'm interested to see. World War III always has really good reveal trailers and things like that too. So I'm curious what it's gonna look like. And someone commented, I think it was on Twitter on that. Who was it? It was Flackfire maybe, or somebody commented on this clip that we're watching on their Twitter, basically saying if you released on console, you'd be like the biggest game of all time. Which this would be a huge game on consoles for sure. I think I'm curious to see where the future of this game goes, just because it has so much potential. We've seen them hit roadblock after roadblock, but for whatever reason, this game still piques all of our interest, and this is kind of like my dream game. If it can be polished up the way I think we all think it should be. So I'm curious what their announcements are, what's going to be happening here. I know they're in the beta now these days, so this is a game that I think is going to keep our attention for a long time, no matter what.
Yeah, no matter what, we're gonna keep following it and see and try out new content. I love it. I love how it plays. It's a really good game. I just put so much time back into it in 2018 while it was active, and then later on, I've just played the same 2 modes and the same like 3 or 4 maps. I need new content for that game really bad, and I'll definitely come back and try it out. I hope they flesh it out, and I hope it makes it to console for everyone to try, because I think it will be really big on console if they can get the PC version ironed out.
Yeah, this would be a huge game on consoles, and we're seeing this weird time of indie games. I think we talked about this with Jim. It's like maybe indie games are the new AAA and going forward. There's just a lot going on out there. It's a good time. We had a little low period there, but it's kind of a good time to be a gamer these days, because there's just a lot of stuff coming. The indie development studios that we've discussed here on the show plenty of times are, there's some solo developers out there who are doing more than AAA studios, which is wild. So it's exciting to see this.
Yep. And if anybody sees any games that they'd like to see us talk about and look at, my Discord link is in the description. Same with Buffs. You can join his Discord and hit him up there. In my Discord, I have a scope section for so if there's any indie games that you guys are interested in and want us to talk about and showcase here, definitely let us know, because we're always looking for news stories to talk about. So hit us up on Discord, and we would be glad to take a look at stuff. But I think that's pretty much all the news I had prepared today. You got time for a chat Q&A?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. Yeah, if any of you guys have anything you want to talk about while you're coming up with your questions or comments to address, I would say thank you guys so much for being here. Thanks for being part of the chat. The VOD will be, if you missed anything, will be uploaded on the Scope channel. Link to that is in the description. And we just appreciate everyone being here. This is a lot of fun. Yeah, Edgar asked a good question. What do you guys think of Elliot Knight, who plays Gas, possibly confirming Modern Warfare 3 in his Instagram story?
I missed that. I missed that, huh? I'm curious if that's gonna be this premium continuation content that we're hearing about, or if there's actually going to be a Modern Warfare 3. Because I mean, not to spoil anything if you guys haven't finished the campaign, but that campaign left off. It stopped when you wanted it to continue, right? It's almost as if I was expecting it to keep going. They didn't leave off kind of like they would on the previous games, where it's like you have a resolution and things are, could obviously pick up. Like we saw the gap of 3 years between Modern Warfare 2019 and this. Maybe it's because of how it ended off and the circumstances it ended off with that cutscene and who those individuals may or may not have been, and we're just naturally geared to remember back. But that's a story that's definitely going to be told, whatever they want to call it, however much money they want. I mean, I'm there for it. But yeah, I'm curious. Maybe sounds like looks like Crash is doing a little research, or so you can add a little bit more context to.
Yeah, it just looks. It looks like they're still working on more stuff. At Infinity Ward, like more mocap stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So yeah, I would lean towards it not necessarily being confirming Modern Warfare 3 as it confirming a continuation of the campaign as part of the premium package next year. So I think it'll be a continuation of the campaign, and we'll see it next year. So that's pretty cool. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Legit asked, how's the weapon grind going so far? Where are you at on all that stuff?
Oh man, the problem is I blew all my XPs on the Scar and AK platforms, because I was like, day one, I was like, need Zenico AK, need my Mark 17, and I was just like, I need it now. I don't have time to grind, and now I have no more XPs left. So I've slowed down a tad. But I have, honestly, like, I think all the ARs that I want at this point leveled up. I'm working on the LMGs right now, and I'm having so much fun with the links, man. I'm just having. I mean, I don't know if Justin's still in chat, but him and I were playing. We were playing with Sean and some other people from the channel, and man, I was just dropping chopper gunners like it was no one's business. The links is a blast. I'm working on yesterday's weapon conversion. I covered the IWI Negave NG7 Special Forces variant, and that thing just looks, I think of all the weapons in the game that I've seen so far and built, that's the most, it's like the sexiest weapon I've seen. It's beautiful, and that's something I'm grinding to make sure I can run in Warzone and DMZ. So I'm excited. I'm working on the LMGs right now. I did the RAL already. I had a lot of fun with the RAL. The RAL was one of those things that was a lot. I was kind of surprised. I don't know if you've used it, Crash, how it works in Modern Warfare 2 compared to Modern Warfare 2019. I mean, that thing booms as it should, and it hits like a truck. And like I was dropping people through pretty thick concrete walls, just wall banging people, as you should with a 338 Norma mag. So that gun's a lot of fun. It kicks like crazy, but damn, does it hit.
I might have to try that. No, good. I'm really lame. I kind of set up a meta AK build that I use for S&D because I want to win. AK 762. So I have that going, and then if we get up by a few rounds, I'll have like a gun to use to pull out. That's kind of a silly one to level up that I'm working on leveling up. So I'll pull out that class if we get up a few rounds in S&D. So I have all the ARs leveled up max, and all the SMGs leveled up max. I need to start messing with LMGs and snipers and stuff like that as they happen. But yeah, and it's not necessarily medic. I don't know what it is, but it's just an AK that I really like that smacks people and handles pretty good. I do want to try an LMG because that makes the sweats mad when you start using weird guns and smacking them with them. So I want to try.
Yeah, dude, it's fun for sure. I see another one here in chat. Edward asks, Crash and Buff, if you wanted to import at least two weapons from Modern Warfare 2 from 2009 as conversions into, or weapons that brought into Modern Warfare 2022, the current one, what would they be? So that's a doozy of a question. So original Modern Warfare 2 weapons bringing them into this Modern Warfare 2 with like conversions and stuff. Do you have anything up top of your head, Crash?
I'm gonna leave that one to you because I didn't play video games in 2009, so I was late to the party. I'm not too familiar with the original MW2. I'm sorry, hate me. Fine.
Nah, I mean, man, honestly, I don't even. I think a lot of the good guns that we would want are here already. I think the intervention would be a really good one. I wouldn't be opposed to the ACR, but I'm more for Modern Warfare 2019. I would like to see the PKM and maybe even like the Odin come back for Modern Warfare 2. I think that'd be good. I think as far as original Modern Warfare 2 weapons, like we have pretty much all of them here, minus the FAMAS, the FAMAS and like the MTAR. I think we're gonna see a lot of those. So I don't think I think the only thing's really missing that everyone's been talking about the ACR and the intervention. But I wouldn't say never to those. It seems like that's something that'll come down the road.
Yep, I bet we'll get all that stuff with it being 2 years of support. There's going to be a lot of older weapons make it back. And then Michael asked, have you guys talked about Marauders? I haven't caught one of these in a bit. Yeah, we talked about the Marauders when it released. We haven't talked or seen much about it since then. But yeah, we definitely covered it when it came into open early access.
Yeah, game looks good. I'm excited to see more information and stuff around that game. So looks fun.
But yeah, S&D's been crazy. I also I got a new trigger in my 458 AR that's on the wall.
Okay, nice.
I got a new CMC, the flat blade trigger with the flat.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah,
I like it quite a bit.
That's awesome. Did you take it out a lot over the weekend or what?
Yeah, we shot it quite a bit because I was having problems. The stock trigger that was in there wasn't resetting. The sear wasn't catching the hammer right.
Oh, geez.
So I was having a lot of misfires. So I got a new trigger over the weekend and put it in. Of course, I had to run some rounds through it. So we put the suppressor on it and ran some big boy 458 SOCOMs through there, and it worked great. I liked it a lot.
I'm curious because you legit have it on your wall. Have you run the FTech Recon on Modern Warfare 2 and like comparatively from like a kick and sound perspective? Can you compare it at all, or what do you think?
The sound's good. The recoil is not enough in game. It kicks quite a bit more than that in real life, I think. Yeah, it would really be hard to hold and spam it. But then again, I do shoot a lot of subsonic rounds that are really heavy, so there's quite a bit of recoil. They're slower, but they're heavy, so you get some kick.
Is that thing just semi?
Yeah. I don't have a class 3 FFL where I can get the really fun guns.
There you go. I was gonna say, because the 458 SOCOM round, unless like I'm crazy and misremembering, was made the same type of purpose as the 12.7 by 55 from the Odin, right? And the Beowulf, but those are close quarters stopping power rounds. So the fact that they added it as a battle rifle, it's kind of made for long range in Modern Warfare 2 is just, it's weird for me because it was made originally for like close quarters urban. Like for example, like Iraq or Afghanistan, like if you're saying stop to a vehicle and they keep coming, like it was made, if a vehicle's like charging at you, you needed something that was going to like punch through that thing, so it was made for close quarters, like stopping power. So it's kind of weird they made it like that. I mean, do you shoot long range with that thing, or is it mainly
you can? Why I like it is it's a incredibly flexible round, so you can shoot those heavy subsonic near 500 grain rounds, or you can step that down to like a 325 350 grain bullet and push it a lot faster, and you can actually shoot pretty far with it. My friend Clark that I hunt with a lot, he has a 458 and a Remington 700 bolt action, and he has the Sig Sauer scope that Bluetooth to the rangefinder, and so he has the ballistic coefficients of our subsonic loads that we load of the 458 and it's all suppressed. It's really quiet. It's got a big titanium suppressor on it. And that the bullet drops a lot. You can imagine a 500 grain bullet traveling subsonic, like 900 feet a second, drops a lot, but it's all built into that Sig Sauer. So he just rangefinders, and then the reticle lights up for the drop on the scope. It's connected with Bluetooth, so it's got the drop built in. So he was hitting, you know, within a few inches at 300 yards with that giant bullet just arching it in. It's super cool. It's super fun.
That's really neat. Does he play Modern Warfare 2 at all?
No, he makes fun of me for playing video games. He doesn't play.
Man.
He doesn't play games at all. So
because there is a sniper scope if you go into privates that is basically that NGSW vortex type scope with the rangefinder, and it'll light up and show you where the drop is, so you shoot at that dot instead. So I don't know how you unlock it yet, but I tested it out, and damn, it's gonna be fun for long range shots.
Yeah, but no, there's some neat stuff like that. I don't have a ton of those super crazy things like he does. But
yeah, it sounds fun. So
it's really neat.
That's a toy I want to play with for sure.
It's really neat because like you can rangefinder stuff like way far away at the range and back up to a couple hundred yards, and then you shoot. It's really quiet, and then you hear that bullet hit like almost a second or two later, just thud. And
that's awesome.
It's pretty neat.
That's really cool.
So, yeah. Oh, no worries, Edward. Yeah, I'm an old man, but I kind of got into gaming a little late, so no worries at all. But, yeah.
Edgar says, I feel the Modern Warfare 2 needs an M249 or a Mark 48. Like they add the receivers for the MG4 or the G3 or the M4 or the G3 H bar. Yeah, I think I think that's something we'll see. FN just came out with the evols, so that's the next iteration, the evolution of what is essentially the SAW. So that'll be something I think I would expect to see down the road, to be honest. So I think we'll get that. The SAW is another one of those staples in like any modern FPS game. So to not have it would be insane.
Agreed. But yeah, if you don't see anything else, I think that might be a show. I might.
Yeah. I just want to plug, if speaking of saws, I know Grand Thumb just was plugging the M249S. So if you're Crash, I think if you're feeling like blowing some money, you can own a 200 round belt fed semi-auto light machine gun. So maybe you get that and show it off on the channel.
Yeah, that would be nice. I don't know. I feel like my YouTube's been pretty rough to be making any big purchases like that. So probably not. Yeah, and like Rob Dog alludes to, I have a mini Crash on the way in February. So yeah.
So you're not gonna be dumping 200 round belts and semi-auto for us, Crash?
Yeah, you could probably deduce that. Yeah, I think that's where I was headed with that. Yep. And even tonight, I probably better go because it's me and Mrs. Crash's anniversary, 7th anniversary.
Oh,
tonight.
What are you doing here? Jesus, get out of here.
No, she's awesome. She's so supportive of everything. So she lets me keep up with the content and stuff like that. So she's awesome. But yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So
yeah. Great. Well, yeah, great show. I had a crazy Monday, man. It sounds like you did too. So this was good. I've been sitting at the desk since 8:30 on meetings all day long until I got on with you. So it was a good, much needed break. So thank you.
Yeah, same here. Like you said, I had to get up early. I had a bunch of emails to answer and stuff going on all day, but it's like that's just kind of how committed that we are to making this show work. Like I still want to do one of these every week because they're a lot of fun, and it's cool because I'm kind of waiting to see what I want to do with my main channel, and just having this where I know I have content. We're gonna meet and we're gonna do this show and have a fun show every Monday is like so awesome to have.
Absolutely.
I'm thankful for it. I'm thankful for everyone that shows up to check it out. Shout out to the podcast listeners. If you guys are busy like us and want to check it out on audio only, it is around on all available platforms. You can click on the link below and then choose your platform if you want to for audio only. So that's out and about. But yeah, thanks everybody for chatting. The chat was awesome for the whole episode. Questions were great as always. I really appreciate it. And Justin with the super chat right at the end of the program.
Let's go, Justin. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Justin can attest to all the chopper gunners that I was dropping. So I was I was a man possessed.
He can fact check that.
Yeah. So you guys don't think I'm just lying? Like I'm the chopper gunner machine, guys. Joining phase. It was kind of ridiculous. I was like, hey Justin, got another chopper gunner. He's like, dude, what the? What are you doing over there? I don't know. It was funny because like I hadn't gotten a chopper gunner once since the game released, and then I just got like 12 games in a row just dropping chopper gunners. It was wild. So yeah, but yeah, great show. Had a blast, guys. Thanks a lot.
Alrighty. Yep. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next week. This will all be loaded up on the other platforms like it always does. Are we gonna have a flex off to get like?
Maybe.
Whoa! I don't know if I got
oil. I'll get the oil if I need to.
I don't know if I got a permit for that. I'll just rub myself up with bourbon. That's all I got.
There you go.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week before this gets any weirder. All right.
Yeah. Take care, everyone.